Yeah, I think it is. I think also they they're always for some reason treated as the underdogs, and I think when you fly under the radar a little bit more, you kind of don't have as much pressure on your shoulders. I think the fact that they've been inventive. I mean, Stephen Fleming worked with the team that, there were no like big standout stars in that side, but they just worked really well together. And I think that's been the trend in New Zealand cricket. And Brendan McCullum, prior to Kane Williamson, was a very good captain, a very kind of inspiring captain. Kane Williamson seems very calm as well, and I think they just genuinely enjoy each other's company and enjoy playing together. And I think they would have been disappointed by losing to Australia in the final of the World Cup, the ODI World Cup. And I think a number of their players who've played in the IPL have got points to prove. Martin Guptill, who hadn't been picked up by the IPL, obviously got off to a bit of a flyer yesterday against Pakistan. So, they're just a very kind of... when you look at the build-up, and it's the same for the men's and the women's game. The general talk is about India being the favourites, Pakistan and the West Indies being the outside favourites because they can dominate on their day. Sri Lanka are always there or thereabouts, but they're never really talked about as the favourites as well, I suppose. And Australia, they're always talked about as favourites. So the fact that they probably don't have as much attention, I think, helps them. But I think when it gets to the semi-finals, it's going to be a completely different ballgame. They're almost going to have to start again because that then becomes about what happens on the day. India, I mean, that was the most astonishing finish to a game of T20 cricket. I mean, Bangladesh had it for the taking and just completely threw it away. And India would have, they would have felt that they were completely out of that game. But that's the beauty of T20 cricket and the fact that, they stayed in it, and they, right up until the last ball, they were still... I don't know if they still believed that they were going to win, but it was just the most unbelievable finish. It was quite strange, really, because all Bangladesh had to do in the last three deliveries was just hit it for a single, and they couldn't manage it. So that's pressure, isn't it? I mean, pressure of being in that situation and actually getting yourself over the line. That's a completely different kettle of fish to having done it a million times before and believing that you can win from anywhere. And I think that was the difference there between the two teams. India haven't quite fired with the bat, I don't think. I think there's still more to come from them, given their standards. Virat Kohli's innings the other day against Pakistan was something very special in the tournament. Joe Root's innings against South Africa was very special from England's point of view. I think they got a bit nervous today playing against Afghanistan, which I don't think should be the case going forward. I think teams just need to treat Afghanistan like anyone else, to be honest. I think they're a very good T20 outfit. Yes, there's a number of things that they probably need to work on, but the more and more they play these the full member nations, the more experience they will get. And I can absolutely believe in 4 years' time they're going to be up there with, the full member nations. Even though they haven't won any games yet, they've still been pushing England, South Africa and Sri Lanka. So I think that's enough to warrant that they shouldn't be considered as a banana skin anymore. It's important for the global game that we're seeing more countries play in tournaments like a World T20. I think World T20 especially more so than a one-day format, because I think the shorter the game gets, the more of a lottery it becomes. And I think associate nations. Well, we've seen it over the years. You know, Holland have beaten England a couple of times now.
Ireland.
Afghanistan, Afghanistan have come close to beating some of the full member nations in this tournament. I just think in the associate, in the qualifiers prior to this tournament, you almost kind of felt for the associate nations because they literally had to qualify for that tournament in the first place for the preliminary stages, and then they had to go through another qualifying stage. And for someone like Ireland, who lost to Oman in the very first game, they only had one more opportunity to get them through to the finals, and then that was rained off. So when you're coming to a tournament like this, like that's hardly, you know, these guys train outside of, you know, working. A lot of them are working full time as well, and they're doing their best to try and move forwards in their development. But actually, they're not really playing any international cricket. I think Preston Mommsen said that he played like 1 or 2 games of international cricket in the last year. You'd have to check that fact, but they haven't played Zimbabwe in a one-day international or a T20. So if that's not happening, then you can't really expect teams to improve, because the best place to learn is out on the cricket pitch, and obviously in different conditions as well. So I personally believe that there should be more teams playing in a World T20, and the next one's 4 years away. I think, you know, Ireland, the Netherlands, Afghanistan quite easily could make that World T20 and be part of it with the full member nations as well. I think one-day cricket, the one-day format, probably needs to be thought about a little bit more than the World T20, but certainly the World T20, we could see more teams being playing on the big stage.